finally won that turnover battle significantly. Proud of our guys for that. Proud of them on offense for not giving it to them, and proud of our defense for finally getting them. And I think that was a huge part of the game. That, and we had some great field position early on in the first half. Second half, we didn't have quite that field position. And then you go a couple 3-and-outs, and things can get tight. But I'm really, pleased and happy for our guys. Obviously last week was a hard week. And those kids, they don't flinch. They come to work and they go hard, but it was hard going through it. But that's how it goes. Last week we lose a tough one just like that, and this week we win it. And it comes down to a game of inches, and I think there's some hard lessons in there and some good lessons in there, and that's how it is in this league.
Kind of just speaking of the turnover battle, is, I don't know, a tipped ball, diving pick, interception by Greg Gaines kind of characteristic of how sporadic the turnover battle can be?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think somebody just asked him, is that the first pay? He said he's never, ever got a ball on defense in his entire life from junior high. But he also is claiming he's got some of the better hands on the team, and I think he does, actually. He just doesn't have the speed we need to really get him the ball, so I'm pleased with him.
Chris, did you expect to be able to lean on Miles as much as you did tonight?
You never know. I mean, we thought if he would hold up, and he's had a lot of time off, and so we felt good about that. I mean, we really rested him to make sure we weren't going to, put him in jeopardy. And he's a tough kid. He is a good. I mean, it's nice to have number 9 back. He's a game changer.
What is it about him that makes him so special as a running back? Point of contact.
I kind of say the same thing every time. I just think that he's got tremendous vision that goes with his, and he's a patient runner. And then he can finish runs, like you're talking about the contact. He's going to finish forward. But, we got, there's a lot of guys that are really fast, and they hit the holes too fast, and they don't let things develop. And he's the best at, hiding behind his guys, letting things develop, and getting to the right spot. There's very seldom times where we're what's he looking at? Even when we put the tape back on, do we say, yeah, he should have been over here? He's usually going to find where it's supposed to go.
How do you feel Jake responded tonight? Jake Browning, how do you feel he responded tonight?
I think Jake did a great job. I'm just really, I knew Jake would respond like that. I knew he would not flinch, and he didn't flinch during the week. And, he's a competitor, and I'm really, pleased with, how he played.
Coach, you guys practice in this stuff every day, but,
We actually do not. We do not practice in this stuff every day. I really wish we did. We've been in a little bit of mist, maybe twice all year. We have not been in the rain or any wind like that. We keep trying to get into it, but it seems like we just miss it practice time. Now, the little that I think they get into it more walking to class. And, I don't know. But I think their mindset is that this is our advantage. Sorry, what's your question?
How much impact did that wind have? Because I thought it really carried that missed extra point.
Well, the wind affects the game. I think the wind affects the game much more than rain does, for sure. So, yeah, that was unfortunate for them, fortunate for us. I think that's a difference how they're going to attack down the end of the game.
When an offense subs in the 2-minute drill there at the end, do you want to take as much time as possible?
Absolutely. Sub right back, and we need to clean that up a little bit because I think we can do a better job at that. But that's exactly right. Our coaches were on it. They sub, we're subbing and taking time. And I think we ate some time off the clock doing that. I think we can even do it a little bit better so we communicate a little better.
Those first 2 touchdown drives, it looked like your offense played pissed off.
Yeah. We're still just, I don't know. We're still interesting on offense. At times we just click and it just looks easy, and it's physical and all those things. And at times, it's one thing here and one thing there, and we'll kind of go in spurts and where we're really, really smooth, and times where we're kind of tripping on ourselves. And that first half was really good, and the second half, I thought we'd be a little bit cleaner. But the one thing I do know is we'll keep working very hard to clean that up. And I think as we go down the stretch here, that's going to really matter.
Could you tell what stymied you in the second half of those first 3-and-outs?
I really couldn't. You know, I couldn't. I can't even remember what plays exactly we were calling. We weren't quite running the ball. You know, we were, and I can't remember. You know, the passes we threw. I thought Stanford did a decent job of pushing our pocket because they weren't letting Jake stand back there very long and hold the ball. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a zero pressure. It wasn't where they had more than us. We had guys, and they were putting a little more heat on him than probably we'd like.
Going back to that first drive and the 4th and 11, did you think about kicking it at that point, or was that part of maybe your attempt to create a spark and get them going a little bit?
Yes. I mean, it was a little bit of both. I thought that was a long field goal, and I just didn't want to do that at that time. And, you know, we were talking, even in the headsets before, it's like where that ball was, you have 2 downs. Like, call, get half, and if you want to take a shot, take your shot, but you got 2 downs. And I didn't want to back off that once I told him that.
And the last one, the last drive, 4th and 1, and you thought about going for that one? Put the game away?
Not really. Not really. I wanted to make him drive the length of the field, and, you know, I thought if we could get a sack, in that situation, that the game would pretty much be over, you know, because it'd be a wild unpile. But they did a good job. He got the ball out, and they went right down there, and our guys made the last play, though.
What are your thoughts on the performances of some of the younger defensive backs, Elijah Molden and Keith Taylor, stepping into bigger roles tonight?
Yeah. I thought Elijah played very well last week when he went in, and he didn't miss a beat today. Those are hard guys to defend. Those tight ends are 6'7" receivers is what they are. And, I mean, those guys worked their tail off. We don't have anyone 6'7" to emulate that, but we had guys down the seams, and we're trying to bracket them and say, I mean, we knew what was coming. But they're pretty skilled at that back shoulder stuff with a big target. And Keith Taylor's been doing a great job. He really has. He's coming a long ways, and he's a long corner that's making plays. I thought he made a good play. I think we got a PI called, but I thought he made a good play.
Final possession of the first half, you had a chance to go for a field goal, but you decided to go for it 4th and 1. What was the thinking?
Don't like field goals, you know. I mean, that's just really it. It's like, we just need to score more touchdowns, and that was kind of really it, just being a little more aggressive.
At the end of the game, you were missing 3 secondary starters. Yeah. How did the crew hold up without?
You know, it's next man up, and I thought they did a good job. I really did. It'll be good to, you know, game 10 to get a bye, and I think that's hard to have a bye. Like 10 straight weeks of ball is hard. I mean, it is hard. But we got it now, and we do have some guys that are a little bit banged. Everybody's got guys banged up at this point, but it'll help us.
What is the plan for this upcoming week?
Yeah, so we'll practice. We'll practice probably 2 or 3 times, probably more like 2. Watch tape, let these guys get healed up, let them get out of this building in a couple more days than they normally are, hopefully, and really not think about football till they come in here for a practice or 2, and when they're not here, I don't want them thinking about it.
Were you happy with the plan for Hunter in terms of getting him involved?
Yeah, we were, and I was. You know, he's been practicing for a couple weeks, kind of bringing him along slowly, and the last week he had a pretty good week of practice, and this week we kind of really got him in the game plan, but it's not like going out there full speed and having guys hit you and all those type of things. So I thought how much we used him tonight was a good way to kind of get him back into the mix, and, you know, I think he'll gain confidence going forward too.
Jake explained to us how upset he was about last week, and he said he talked to you about that.
Yeah.
What was your message?
You know, I mean, I've said this before. If Jake, I know that kid inside and out, and if he wasn't upset and really pissed that he got pulled out, I probably wouldn't want to put him back in. I mean, that's Jake. I mean, he's a fighter and he's a competitor, and I would expect nothing different from him, and I totally get it. If that had happened to me, and I think it has happened to me back in the day, I know what it feels like, and it's different than, you know, the safety getting pulled out or D-tackle or anything. We all get that, but I think he understood that, you know, what I was trying to do, and it wasn't necessarily about him, like I said all along. I mean, we're just trying to make something happen, and I know this offense is capable of scoring more points than we did last week, but. You know, that's why I'm just really, you know, I'm pleased with him, but I knew he would respond like this. I saw him practice all week, and he's a competitor, and he just goes.
You guys obviously bounced back this week. How hard has it been, and how hard is it to bounce back after everything that's going on?
Yeah, that last week was very hard. There is no doubt about it. When you lose, I mean, you lose any games, it's really hard. But just that whole situation, you know, that, you know, I think on top of not scoring, you know, many points and, you know, I think all the offensive coaches, the players, I mean, everybody felt the weight of the world on those things. I mean, they get it, and so it's hard. I mean, you want to get it fixed, and you want to go play to try to get it right. And so, you know, we made some strides against a good defense out there tonight.